Hi guys, just a quick little intro before I launch into this episode. Unfortunately, Jazlaan has left us. He moved to Japan and he's having a wonderful time. So it will probably be quite some time before we continue our Friday the 13th discussion from this episode. But we had a great time recording it, great time watching the movies, and I hope that our little chat provides some insight. And also, happy Halloween. This will be my last update for October, and I'll probably take a short break, but I'll be back with you, and I'll be doing more updates on the blog, and hopefully I'll get some additional co-hosts so the podcast can be more frequent. So just sit back and enjoy this little podcast.
Did you hear that? The 13th chime. It shouldn't exist, but we all know it's there, hiding behind the face of that demon clock. Once more it is time for the veil of shadows to be lifted. Once more it is time for the Hallowholics Anonymous podcast.
Live from a broken down car in the middle of the woods.
It's Jazlaan and Maddie. And Tina.
And Jason.
And we're all stroking each other gently.
Jason looks deeply into Tina's eyes. Tina looks deeply into Jason's one eye, and I guess the gouged area where another eye used to be. There's a lot of sexual tension going on between these two. Her, just a telekinetic crazy girl, and him, just a psycho-killing zombie demon.
And that's just a small preview of what you're about to listen to. Which is a brief discussion.
Yeah, a little chat. A little try and chat.
About the first 7.
Friday the 13th movies.
Because we watched all 7 of them.
Yep, we had a lot of fun. We'll probably do the rest later. We just could only do so many.
In one time.
Yes.
Well, we watched the first 2 sometime last year.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving, maybe?
Yeah, it's been a while since we watched the first 2.
Then we watched the 3rd one.
Mm-hmm.
And we still remember the first 2 very fondly.
Because we really liked the first 2.
That's why we started this whole get through the entire series adventure of ours.
You know, something to talk about, something to write home about.
The 3rd one we watched a couple months ago.
Yeah, we watched the 3rd one on Thursday.
Did we watch the 3rd one on Thursday?
Yes, we did.
And then we watched the 4th one and the 5th one and the 6th one.
And the 7th.
Yesterday, and the 7th one today.
No, we watched the 6th and 7th today.
Did we watch 2 of them today?
Yes, we did.
Holy shit! Can I say that on this?
Yeah, sure. You say whatever you want.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay, well, apparently we got through 5 of the episodes this weekend.
Yeah, 5 of the movies this week. And then another movie, which was just a break from Friday the 13th, I guess.
One of our personal favorites.
Bloody Birthday.
Which we'll talk about later.
Probably in another episode.
But if you can tell by our voices and how close and passionate
Intimate.
they are. Intimate, yes, that's a good.
Yeah.
Let's do that. But as you can tell by what did I say?
Close and intimate?
Yes.
By how close and intimate our voices are.
It's because we're in the same apartment.
Talking on a headset. Because,
My apartment.
Yes, Jazlaan does not have an expensive microphone like myself.
No one could tell that my mic wasn't expensive when I was using it solo up against my face and not between us on a box because we don't have a tripod.
We are jerry-rigging this.
And it's working out so far.
Yeah.
Sound looks
It's a
good.
professional studio setting, your living room.
We've got matching mugs.
Mm-hmm. Drinking a pepper seed.
Actually, our mugs aren't matching.
Pepper
Mine's
sheet.
on the table. But so, I love Friday the 13th.
Oh my god, I was surprised actually how much I enjoyed the movies. I expected them to be not very good.
Madeline really likes to get on my case because I don't like older movies, and I know all of our 10 listeners might also start judging me for saying this, but I don't like old movies. But these, I mean, granted, they're not that old.
Well, you like Bloody Birthday.
Granted. I guess I like older horror movies.
Yeah, it depends on the old movie. Like, it's really hard to get you to watch black and white stuff.
But I did like these. But after watching 5 of them, holy cow, like...
The deaths started to kind of blend together, all the characters and everything, so maybe we should have spaced these movies out.
If any of you would like to start your own Friday the 13th marathon, I would space them out every couple of months, because if you watch all of them at once, not realizing that they actually came out with like a year in between or 2 years in between each one, you're gonna hate this series.
Pretty much.
Because we spent probably the last 2 movies just bitching about.
Yeah, but we still wanted to watch another
Yeah,
one.
of course.
In fact, we had to, when we dropped these movies off at Hastings, because we rented them.
They're not supporting us.
Yeah.
Sadly.
We dropped them off at a box because we were afraid to go inside because we knew that we would just look at Jason Takes Manhattan and think, one more movie.
Yes.
Which, apparently it's a good thing we stopped because I haven't heard good things about Jason Takes Manhattan.
We're about to enter a slippery slope.
Yeah, we're about to go towards the final movies of the series in the future, and they're probably not going to be as good as what we've watched so far.
Though I do like space, so I'm excited to see Jason X.
Yeah, I actually saw that when I was a kid, so I remember liking it. At any rate, we decided we'd play a little game this episode.
Oh, before we actually talk about it, yes, we're going to quiz each other on and see if we actually can remember the movies apart.
Because, like I said, they do blend together.
Well, so we'll see. Maybe we'll actually get these all right, and you guys will think we're pretty good at this, but we might not. And
and I know there's probably going to be one of you sitting out there in the audience listening to the podcast as you're driving going, what? No, that's the wrong movie entirely. What's wrong with those people?
And you, sir, or ma'am,
because we don't judge by gender here,
are right. We're idiots. Why don't we know?
And you probably need to get some sunlight.
Well, if they're driving, unless it's night.
Maybe they're driving in a hearse. But, hearses don't have tinted windows, do they?
Actually, if you're driving in a hearse, contact us, because I want to ride around in one
while
I'm living.
I know.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to start this game. The game is called...
Figure out which movie that death happened in. The game!
No,
I really do want to play that card game in one of those movies, though. Camp Blood?
Well, we need to figure out the rules. That'll be for our part 2 video.
Yeah.
All right, Madeline. Which Friday the 13th did this death happen on? Eyes popped out as his head was squeezed. Both eyes, that's the key word.
Both eyes? He likes to squeeze heads. That is not fair.
Yes, but this death was different because both eyes popped out.
Was that part 3?
We'll have to come back and look because I didn't look up the answers. Maddie's turn.
This one, he was hacked to pieces with an axe, and he really liked chocolate.
Oh, that one's easy. That was when part 5.
Yes.
Yes.
Score 1 for Jazlaan, and I don't know how many for me.
Not yet. All right, Maddie. This one was a party tutor to the eye.
Party tutor to the eye?
Yeah, I don't know what they're called. The things you blow into, they go.
Oh, that's the one we just watched, part 7.
Yes, good job.
This one had her head shoved through an RV wall.
Can you tell by
Cue
that
Jeopardy.
long pause that I have no idea? I'm trying to think. Because she was a counselor. No, she was the bus driver. And the other guy that was in the RV with her was the counselor. So I know it wasn't 7, because those weren't.
You need another hint?
No. I know it wasn't 5. I'm thinking it's 6. Was it 6?
Was that your final answer?
Yes.
It was 5.
Was it 5?
It was 5.
What was 6?
No, wait. Was it 5?
It was 6.
It was 6.
Yes!
I think it was 6. It was...
It
was 6, because there were children.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was 5.
Well, obviously, I paid more attention in this movie.
That was like one of my favorite deaths, and I got it wrong on my own list.
Wah, wah.
Okay.
All right, another one. This is the last one that I wrote down. At which Friday the 13th did this death happen on? After they were killed, there was a floating American Express card.
Oh, man, I was pointing that out, too.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a joke. She was trying to give him money.
Yeah, does anybody know what that was a reference to?
He didn't want the money. If anyone knows the answer to that reference, please tweet at us at Hallow-Holics.
Because she swears it's a reference, and I have no idea.
It's got to be a reference, or at least a comedic joke. I thought it was like American Express can save you anywhere or something like that. I don't know. Was it your part 6?
Was it part 6?
I think so. Tommy was a grown-up.
Yes, it was part 6.
Yay!
Yay!
Jason was in the water, and his neck was broken with a boat rudder. Did Jason deaths count for this game? Because I really liked that death. We just watched it.
We obviously just watched 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Was it a girl that pulled the rudder?
Yes.
Then it was 5.
Nope.
It was 6?
Yep. Tommy was a grown-up, remember?
Yeah, but...
The Tommy movies are 4, 5, and 6.
It wasn't 5?
It wasn't 5 because Tommy was a grown-up. He wasn't a teenager.
So what was it?
Like, remember he took the rock out into the lake? He was almost drowned. And...
I thought you said it was a girl that did it.
Yeah, she swam out to the water later.
Oh.
In part 6. Are we spoiling anything? Let's give a spoiler warning.
Oh,
Spoilers!
Before you listen to this podcast, if you haven't seen Friday the 13th, part 1 through 7, this is your warning now.
Turn it off.
Spoiler alert.
The last movie we watched, part 7, was the beginning of, I think, the reign of the best guy to ever play Jason ever, which is, like, quite impressive because he doesn't ever say anything. He just, like, walks and kills people, but Kane Hodder, I thought he was really cool. Part 7, I was like, wow, this guy's, like, way more threatening and scary than any of the other Jasons I've seen so far. I mean, do you agree? Yeah, nodding and smiling is not an answer. You do have to verbalize.
I thought 7 was really good. I think we should...
It was clear that most of the money for that movie went into his makeup.
Are we doing this backwards from 7 to 1 or what?
Oh, we should just start at 1? Let's start from the very beginning.
Part 1. You hear about a little boy who drowned.
In a lake.
And then deaths start happening.
Yeah.
So pretty much the entire movie, I'm sure you all know because you've seen the movie or you're not afraid of spoilers, is his mom killing the kids. And you never see the killer, right? You only see the hand.
It's like, at one point he's like, what are you doing here?
First one was very good. Liked it a lot. At the end, the girl goes into a boat. And then the little boy jumps out of the water and grabs her. That was really cool and scary.
It was a dream.
It was.
And then, like, the cops were like, she keeps talking about the boy in the lake.
Then the second movie starts.
And wow.
We finally get to see the real Jason, or at least the Jason that we all know. And
that was the first designed Jason. It was interesting.
Very not what you think of
when you think of Jason
in pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was surprising for me because I just know him through pop culture. But the second was also very good, in my opinion.
I loved the second one. Oh my god, it was...
Wheelchair death.
Oh, I know. The wheelchair death, like...
And they loved that scene as well, because they put it in every montage.
Yeah, every time they, like, go back, they're like, oh, gotta show this guy in the wheelchair going down the steps. Cause
that's a pretty good one.
Maybe it took one shot. I don't know.
I don't know, but I liked that. I didn't like that death, but I liked that.
Oh, yeah. I liked that character, too, and I felt bad for him.
Poor guy. Poor all these kids, really. But you know what? No. Quit going to the damn lake where people keep dying.
Yeah, I know. By part 6 or 7, you'd think they would have learned their lesson by like, hey, why am I camping in this place that over 20 people have been murdered?
Over 20?
Well, there have to have been at least over 20 at that point. If you think there's at least, like, say, 6 or 7 deaths each movie, that adds up.
Well, here's my problem. One of my problems with the series. The body count is just increasing for fun.
Yeah.
In the first ones, we had... Oh, and the booby count.
Though I would say part 4 had the highest booby count.
But just as the movies have gone on, more and more people are being killed, and they're not getting any character time like the characters did in the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's irritating, because we're just seeing random people get killed by Jason now.
Yeah, I think it's just at the point where people just want to kind of see Jason kill people, and they don't really care about the story anymore, maybe.
But that's bad.
Yeah, that's bad.
I think, even though, okay, it's probably super lame, but the 7th one, because we're jumping to the end now.
Yeah.
Even though they introduced a witch into the series, a telekinetic.
Telepath? Telekinetic? A girl who could do mind stuff.
Even though they introduced a total random character that could do this stuff, I thought it was actually pretty cool and pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a nice little, fuck you, Jason, after all the
shit
he's put us through.
I did sense some sexual tension in that movie, though, which is why we started off with my fanfic of Tina and Jason and us in our broken down car. Broken down car! Let's talk about broken down cars!
It happened in every single one. Sometimes multiple times.
Vehicles. Yeah. One of the movies, it was every single vehicle anybody drove in the whole movie broke down at some point.
Anybody who lived in the 80s and 70s, were cars that unreliable, or was this just a funny...
Yeah, did nobody ever change their oil or check their battery?
Which, she said that every freaking time it happened in the movie, and then finally in the 7th movie a character said it, and we were just like, justification!
Yeah, I think that was a little tongue-in-cheek joke.
I feel like we're looking to too deep into it, and
Yeah,
pretty much everything was tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess that we just overdid it by watching them all.
Yeah, maybe part 6 was when they really started to not take themselves seriously anymore.
Part 6 sucked.
Yeah. I will admit, that was the worst acting I saw from any of the Tommies. And I like that actor. He's in Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2. I know, I just had to throw it in. I couldn't help myself.
Me and Madeline made a list of our favorite Jason movies, down to our least favorites.
From what we've seen so far.
Of the first 7.
Yeah, I mean, the list might change when we watch the rest of them, but...
And hers and ours are only different in 3 spots. First favorite movie on both our list is number
2!
Yay! I thought 2 was great because it was actually Jason and not the mom.
Yeah.
And,
the way the protagonist fought back was really good. It was creative there.
Mm-hmm. Jason. I can't remember what she says exactly, but...
Like, a present for you or something. Jason, listen to your mother.
It was very, very cool.
Yeah.
I liked her.
And I think you noticed his eyes the most in that one. In the bag on his head.
That's right, he had a bag on his head in that one.
Yeah. It was before the mask came into play.
Yeah.
The mask showed up in part 3, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. You use a napkin this time?
He's eating a root beer float and he's spilling it everywhere.
Yeah. Our second favorite was...
Part 1, of course.
Yeah, number 1 was really good.
For me, it was the ending that made me decide I liked part 2 more than part 1. The ending and the fact that there was that surprise of the protagonist from part 1 just being offed
right
first
away.
5 minutes.
We also played a video game. We also played a game while we watched the first 2, which we continued into the other ones, but it wasn't as fun.
Yeah, it stopped being fun at about part 6.
Part 4. Part 4 had 1,000 characters.
Yeah.
So, we would see a character, and because the first 2 didn't follow the formula of introduce a character, kill them off, introduce a character, kill them off, and it just showed all the characters pretty much at once, and then you couldn't tell who was the main character in the first one or the second one too much. We would just randomly be like, "No, that's me, that's you, that's Julianne, that's Chris."
Yeah, we started keeping a score of who survived to the end.
Mm-hmm.
Audra had the highest score because we gave her fucking Tommy.
We didn't realize that he'd be in 3 movies.
Which I guess we should have known. Me as a horror fan, I guess I should have known that, but whatever. So
that's probably also why we like 1 and 2 so much, is because it was a fun movie.
Yeah.
We walked into it not expecting much, and
they were great.
They had a great time,
yeah.
and they were really good. Next on Maddie's list is...
for me, the next one is part 5, because I really liked the guy who played Tommy as a teenager. I really liked his acting in part 5. I liked that extra challenge of him being scarred as a child and having to deal with his visions of Jason.
And I argue that she only liked it because he was hot.
He was attractive. I will not deny that.
Well.
But I was also taken off guard when that character, from the very beginning, the first character who got killed, that took me by surprise so much. I mean, I was like, holy crap! Holy shit, no! Because I liked him within his first few lines. He was adorable.
I think that was also the first death in the series that wasn't supposed to be by, I'm doing air quotes here, Jason.
Yeah. Air quotes, Jason.
Yeah, because both part 1 and part 5 were not actually Jason.
Yeah.
But I did like part 5. I mean, I put it towards the bottom of my list, but I did like it. I just didn't like it.
Fair enough. I mean, that's on my list, but your list was...
Part 3.
Part 3.
Now, when we watched part 3 the first time, I was disappointed by it. Mm-hmm. But thinking back on it now, I can remember most of the characters. I can remember their deaths.
It's like
and I liked it.
Every passing movie, we liked part 3 a little more.
Yeah, which is kind of not a good thing.
I guess so.
It started in my, 3rd spot, and then I watched another one expecting it to go lower because I didn't like it, and it still stayed at my 3rd spot. Mm-hmm. Watched the next one, still stayed at my 3rd spot. So, in 4th place, though...
For me, it was part 3.
So, see, you did like part 3.
Yeah, I did. I liked part 5 a little more.
I liked part 7 the next best.
Which is interesting.
Because Madeline didn't.
No, it's not that high on my list. I liked part 7, but the reason I put it lower is because it didn't feel like a Friday the 13th movie.
Which is fair, and maybe by the end of watching these 7 movies, that's why I was so happy it didn't feel like one. But,
It was a break.
Yeah, pretty much. No, but I loved the introduction of Tina, who was the telekinetic.
Yeah, the OTP of Jason.
What's OTP?
One True Pairing.
Oh, yes. Madeline's going to write this fanfic.
And it's going to be hot.
It's going to be amazing. I'm not going to read it, so I'm going to trust all of y'all's opinions.
I'm going to read it for him.
But the best thing about 7 was...
She had mind powers.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
Jason.
no. Oh, yeah. Like, all the budget went to Jason's makeup, and this was Kane Hodder's first appearance.
Basically, the best thing about 7 was Jason.
Yeah, I know. This is probably the best Jason ever.
I spent 4, 5, and 6 bitching about Jason.
Yeah.
But in 7, I was just like, holy shit,
my God,
Jason's hot.
What?
I just thought he was awesome in this. His makeup
his
was
spine,
amazing. That was cool.
That was, ooh.
I liked his, also, I don't think he was resurrected in a dumb way, which, you know, telekinetic revived him. But
yeah, but she also had,
cool.
had that issue where, that was established before he even, showed up and she brought him back. At least her powers were established before that happened.
Unlike Tommy's, which I guess Tommy just accidentally revived him with lightning.
Though you gotta admit, digging in a graveyard late at night during a thunderstorm is pretty cool. And it looked cool when he came back. It was just stupid.
Yeah, it looked okay, but it was stupid. But yeah, Jason was pretty cool in part 7. How'd he die again?
He died because she telekinetically summoned her father, who she had accidentally killed as a child, and he drug him back down into the water.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. I kept expecting him to pop back up one last time and smile at her like, ding! But he didn't.
Just one little wink like, hey, baby.
I was sad that the mom died in the 7th one.
Yeah, I know.
Because that doctor was an asshole.
Oh, yeah, he was a total jerk. But that actor always plays a jerk.
I don't know who it is.
He was in Weekend at Bernie's 1 and 2.
Next on my list was 5.
Your 5th ranked?
Uh-huh.
For me, it was 7.
Oh, we're all getting there.
Yeah. And I really loved the makeup in 7. I don't know, I feel like all the budget went there, so we didn't really get to see much of when the axe came down, when the machete went through, or when the whatever was speaking of which, Jason really loves crushing skulls, even more than using a machete. Why isn't his, thing, just crushing a skull instead of carrying a machete around?
Merchandising.
And,
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, you just, press a button in his back, and he squeezes the head in his hands, and the eyeballs go up. Blue! Blue!
Yeah, but you can just sell a machete and make more money, probably.
Yeah, but you gotta admit, if you found a limited edition action figure of Jason squeezing a head, and you could make the eyes pop out, you would want it. Blue! Blue! That's the sound of the eyes coming out. Blue!
Yeah, there was a lot of skull crushing with Jason.
Yeah. Super strong.
It was also funny how he would get his machete in each movie. You could see it pop on screen,
Yeah.
there it is!
Yeah, there's a machete there! I guess everybody uses machetes when they go camping.
Apparently.
Or live in a cabin by the woods.
Yeah. So we both agreed on these last 2 movies, which was the first one, in rank 6.
6. We agreed on 6.
Was part 6.
And that's just because Tommy's acting was so bad.
Yeah, but not only that, but...
It was just so bleh.
Well, you went from Jason's coming in part 5 to, hey man, Jason's coming, we gotta run. It's just very...
You just shut your mouth and stay away from my pure daughter.
What did he say at one point that I kept mocking him?
No,
I was like, Tommy would not say that.
Yeah, Tommy talked too much in this one. This was not like Tommy at all.
He went from
being
messed up,
quiet and freaking out and having to take pills
to just
to
regular
suddenly
person.
being giving Shakespearean shitty monologues about killing Jason.
And
Jason's
that
going back to
officer.
hell this time. I'm gonna make sure he gets there. And I don't dislike the actor who was fine in Return of the Living Dead, but he really sucked in this movie. I honestly wanted Tommy to die in this one.
And he had a love interest in the policeman's daughter.
Yeah.
Which was also very weird because in the
She fell hard and fast for no reason.
In the 5th one, he didn't have any emotional attachments to anybody.
Yeah, in the 5th one, he was pretty crazy. I loved his acting in the 5th one.
I did like the 5th one. Even though it's 5th in my ranking, I did like it.
Yeah, which just goes to show we didn't truly hate any of these.
Yeah, we did.
Well, the last one on our list,
Part
I guess.
4.
Part 4 was pretty crappy.
Was bullshit.
Part 4 was terrible.
There was 15 characters.
Oh my God, and so many boobies. I'm sure for you guys out there, the boobies were a good part, but... No, I don't even mind boobies. It was just kind of funny how much they tried to really put those boobies on screen. Skinny dipping! And everyone, boobies! Boobies, boobies! And then one girl later on, I'm gonna go skinny dipping again. Boobies!
She showed her titties a lot. Oh, and the twins were there? These random twins?
Yeah. I honestly expected them to chew bubblegum. because the Doublemint twins.
Oh. I just hated 4.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything nice to say.
But I guess it's great that it set it up for part 5, but that's the only... Well, and it was cool that I guess he was smart enough to shave his head. And I did like how Jason died in that one where you saw the thing go in his head and like his eyes and everything like moving and stuff as he slunk down. I mean, I can honestly say I pretty much have liked the endings for all of them.
Yeah. I remember now. We bitched pretty much all through 4. And
it was
then,
so slow.
And then once it ended, we were like, okay, the ending made up for all the bullshit.
Yeah.
And it did. Because in the end of 4, the little brother, Tommy, hugs his sister.
Yeah.
And then he looks up at the camera and smiles. And then it's a freeze frame.
Which brings me to thinking it could have honestly ended at the very end of part 5. It could have ended there.
Well,
oh
it
my
originally
God.
was supposed to end...
Kill. Tommy.
It was originally supposed to end with part 3.
Yeah.
But then they extended
3D.
Twice more. Yeah. And then they extended even more. Which, yes, the 3D in part 3
ridiculous.
was hilarious.
Like, we didn't watch it in 3D. We debated about it, but we realized we didn't have the 3D glasses, so what's the point? So we watched it regular, but still, like, you could tell exactly where, oh, this is the surprise 3D moment. Look at this yo-yo. This yo-yo's coming at you. Oh, this guy's holding a man's eye.
I mean, granted, we grew up in the period of watching Avatar in 3D, but, which that hurt my eyes, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of 3D.
But the 3D in this was so cheesy. Like, I want to know what you people that grew up in this era that saw this.
I think it would be fun to see it, like, at a special premiere at the Draft House or something, and watch it in 3D. I think that would be fun.
The only cool one was when the popcorn was popping. That was kind of
cool.
I did like that one. But all the rest were just, like,
stupid.
So dumb.
And I liked a lot of the characters in part 3. The hippie couple.
Part 3 had a few of my favorite characters. I really liked the Spanish girl who got the spear gun to the eye.
Speaking of which, that fat guy negged her.
Oh,
Total
okay.
negging.
I don't think we should talk about that.
Okay.
We'll make some enemies.
Oh. Sorry, we want to keep our red pill fan base, I guess. What kind of bullshit is that? No, negging. He was like a jerk. He played pranks on everybody, and they kept telling him, dude, stop it. That's not cool. And then he did it to that girl he wanted to date. And then she was like, can't you just grow up? Stop doing that, And he's like, well, you don't like me. I'm just trying to be an interesting person. Like, first of all, he hurts her feelings and upsets her. Then he tries to make her feel bad and storms off.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked. She probably would have, like, totally gone back and apologized, I guess. If she didn't get the spear gun in the eye. Yay, spear gun in the eye.
I also really liked the gang member Foxy.
Foxy
cool.
Cleopatra.
Oh, nope, she's dead. She got a pitchfork through the neck.
Yeah.
Pitchfork through the neck. Who else did I like?
Oh, God, the gang leader. We thought he was dead the first time.
He was the worst actor
That was
in that
funny,
one.
though. That was funny. When he came back, he was like, you mother! And then tried to punch him, and then Jason just chopped his hand off.
And then he died instantly.
Then he, hammered him even more in the head.
It was convenient for the main character. Ooh, I wish they had brought her back in the 4th one.
I would have liked to even have seen the heroine at the end of part 2 somehow show up again.
Who was the girl in part 3? She was just there. That was her old home, right?
Yeah, she was the one who had, like, apparently had a run-in with Jason, and then
Which
tried
they
to get
never
away.
explained that.
Yeah, she, like, blacked out, and then suddenly she was back home.
Yeah.
How's that happen? Jason doesn't do that. He kills you.
No, Jason just teleports everywhere. He also needs to come clean my house, because he cleans up quick.
I know, like, way too quick. He gets sloppy sometimes, but for the most part, like, wow. Jason, you did good.
But he also hides everything in really weird spots.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd go to get some dishes.
Sometimes he likes to bring the bodies together.
They'd be under my sink. But it's always to benefit the main character or one of the other characters seeing it, screaming, and then turning and running into him. So, Jason has a lot of annoying habits.
Yeah. We were looking up some quick notes about this, like, when we were making our death list earlier, and the director of Part 6 did a total retcon. He decided, parts 1 through 5, well, 1 through 4, really, it was obvious that Jason hadn't actually died in the lake. He had suffered some brain damage or something and survived and lived in the woods. But the director for Part 6 decided to retcon. He was like, no, Jason died as a kid. He's been a zombie the whole time, or whatever you want to call him.
Did he? So he said that. It wasn't actually in the movie.
Yeah, he said that. That wasn't listed in the movie.
Because, I didn't get the idea that he had been a zombie the whole time up until the 5th one.
Or the 6th one.
Yeah.
Because the 5th one, it wasn't Jason.
Oh, that's right. Well, he died at the end of the 4th one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the 6th one. 6th one is when he became a zombie. But basically, we spent the first 2, 3, 4, and 4 and maybe 5th movie, a little bit, talking about why he was so inhumanly strong.
Yeah.
And I was offended that they were basically just trying to be like, oh, he's mentally challenged. That's why he's so inhumanly strong. And we're just like, what?
Like, it was like the last movie, he'd get an axe through the shoulders, so how come both of his arms worked in the next one?
Because he was mentally challenged.
No, apparently it's because he was a zombie.
I guess makes more sense, but still no, because they severed the nerves in his frickin' shoulder.
Yeah, but this is when we get to the point that maybe we're reading too much into it and we just need to settle back and turn our brains off.
Well, you try watching 7 movies, 5 of them in one weekend.
I did.
Oh.
I was there. I was there, man.
It was...
What was that?
That was my panic face.
He made a weird face where he like bobbed his tongue in and out of his mouth and like widened his eyes like a lizard.
Like that?
Yeah, like that.
We'll gift it for y'all later. All in all, I am excited to watch the next ones.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that we get to finish the series before I leave the country.
Yeah.
Which this hopefully won't be my last appearance.
It won't be. I'll harass you at some point when you're in Japan.
Thank you. I'll try to...
podcast. More Friday the 13th. I'm gonna finish it. Jason takes Manhattan. I don't know what I just did there.
Me.
He's looking at me weird.
So yeah, I hope we get to finish the series and come back and make one more podcast about them.
Because we loved it.
So excited for 10. I love space. Next, I think we'll try and watch another series. Maybe... No, you know what? She killed Nightmare on Elm Street marathon.
Yeah, I made the mistake of showing him part 2.
Yeah.
We should have just gone from part 1 to part 3. But after part 2, you really can't take Nightmare on Elm Street 2 seriously. You know what? Let's do it again. But we'll watch part 1 and then part 3 and pretend part 2 never happened.
Sounds like a possible plan.
There's also the Halloween movies we need to tackle in the future.
And I did see the remake of that, and I liked it.
I didn't like the remake.
I liked the remake.
Well, we'll discuss that on a Halloween episode, because I've got a lot of problems with that remake. And this is a Friday the 13th episode, my friend.
Shout out to Julianne and Chris. We're missing ya.
Yeah, you know. We know you got personal lives. You got fun to have out in the real world. But the internet misses you.
No, just we do.
Yeah. Yeah, we
and our
miss you.
one listener, Maddie's mom.
Oh.
Which, shout out to Maddie's mom.
Hi, Mom. You're probably not listening to this. I'm probably actually sitting with you 6 months from now, playing it for you, and being like, isn't that part funny? You liked that part, didn't you? Yeah, I know you did. Keep listening.
This is a real story, guys. This is really what she does.
Don't forget to check out our Twitter, tweet at us, do all kinds of stuff. And even if you want to throw out some topics or some movies or some books, whatever you want us to look into, do that, and we'll try to do it. We will do it.
If you're in love with me, you can find my personal Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm following the Hallow-Holics.
Hallow-Holics.
I'm following the Hallow-Holics Twitter, so just check out the followers. You'll see me. I'm gorgeous. I'm taken, though. I'm actually not taken. I'm single, so... Unbelievably.
Okay. There's also the blogs. There's the main site, hallowholic.blogspot.com, and the mirror site, hallowholic.wordpress.com. You can also find our older archived episodes on YouTube. Just look up Hallowholics Anonymous podcast and it'll show up. And don't forget to listen to the following great podcasts. There's the Directors Club, a great podcast about directors. Then there is Front of the House, which is pretty awesome. They usually host some kind of artist and make a meal for them. There's My Brother and Me. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sawbones and Horror ETC. That's Horror, etc. Oh, it looks like the car's getting started. Finally. Jazlaan, stop playing around at the hood of the car.